While writing on friendship, C.S. Lewis said that the words that we all long to hear are the words, me too. Like he was pointing out the human longing for another person to understand an experience that we have had, or to have someone resonate with us on a profound desire. Right? He was hitting on the desire to be known and to be understood. Right? We long for someone to say, me too, because we don't want to face our trouble in isolation or to feel that no one shares in our particular troubles. Now, while it can be somewhat comforting to hear someone say the words me too when it comes to something we excel at, it can be a medicine to our soul when we hear someone say the words me too when it comes to something we are struggling with. And this is one of the reasons I really appreciate our passage today. Paul is going to be transparent about his weaknesses rather than hiding his weaknesses. So let's discover Paul's secret as to why he can be so transparent about his weaknesses to the point of actually boasting in them. So we're going to be in 2 Corinthians 12. I'm going to read verses 8 through 10. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me, but he said, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest upon me. That is why for Christ's sake I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. In this passage, just before this section, Paul has just described an incredible revelation he had. And he says that in order to prevent him from becoming conceited, a thorn in the flesh was given to him. Now, perhaps we aren't given the specific thorn that Paul had for the purpose of helping us relate very personally to this concept. It's human nature at times for our strengths to give way to pride. I mean, whatever this thorn was clearly painful for Paul. He pleaded 3 times for the Lord to take it, but it wasn't taken. Through receiving, in essence, a no to his prayer, Paul began to realize an astounding concept. His weaknesses were an occasion for the Lord's strength to rest upon him. Now, we are typically people who like to boast in our strengths while covering up our weaknesses. Yet, as we mentioned earlier, people desperately long to be understood when they find themselves in a place of weakness. But Paul is able to be so transparent about his weaknesses because he understands what God is doing through him amidst his weaknesses. His weakness is an occasion for God's power to rest upon him. And let's think about why this is. It isn't typically our self-sufficiency that drives us into the type of deep dependence where power is generated. Pride isn't typically the soil where power is generated. The things which drive us to our knees in life are for our power what an outlet is to a plug. While painful, they also produce power. And when we begin to really grasp that our weaknesses aren't something to be shunned or to feel shame about, but an occasion for the Lord's power to rest upon us, all of a sudden, we become God's gift to someone else because we can say the words, me too, to someone and serve to be that medicine for their soul. So I want to leave you with this question. How may God desire to use a current weakness of yours for the purpose of displaying his power through?